Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Matt here from Chill TCG, and we're here with the Grand Finals match from the 400-player Chill Series number 43 tournament, which wrapped up this last night. It's going to be a great one tonight. We have Haruto, Takatsuka, I believe is how you say the name. He's actually playing Togekiss VMAX with the new Quick Shooting Rapid Strike Inteleon. Very cool list. Absolutely phenomenal to see him in this archetype that he's brought to Grand Finals. And he's going up against Okada Ryuki, and he's playing a Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX deck list, utilizing Mewtwo and Mew GX with Gengar, Mimikyu, Trevenant, and Dusknoir. Both lists a little bit unconventional, and both players, of course, from Japan. Absolutely blessed to have such great players here this week competing. We're going to be watching from Haruto's perspective, and I just want to let you guys know ahead of time, to sit back, relax, grab some snacks. This is going to be a long one here. But it's going to be a good one, and really, I cannot wait. Of course, this Grand Finals match was streamed live on the PTCGO Zone Twitch account last night, casted by Ethan Heggie and Rahul Reddy. So, if you guys are interested in watching these tournaments live, I recommend that you go check out the Twitch channel every Wednesday night. But let's get right into it here. So, you'll notice that lightning energy there on Haruto's in his hand, and really... This Togekiss list, it utilizes a lot of special energies. Of course, being a colorless energy attack cost Pokemon, it can utilize things like the powerful colorless energy, capture energy, but we're actually using some basic lightning energies as well as Tapu Koko Prism Star to accelerate those energies a little bit more consistently. And we do see the Mew on the start-off position when we're running, the kind of shady dealings, Sobble, Drizzile, and Rapid Strike Inteleon engine. You definitely want to protect those bench-sitting Pokemon. They can be very important, so the Mew does make sense. Definitely an interesting list, but I think you guys will be surprised about how effective it really can be. Okada here, he's starting off with the Mewtwo and Mew GX in the active spot. Never really a great starting option. In this matchup, you typically probably don't really want to even use some of these tag team Pokemon. He does run a 1-1 Alcremie lineup on top of all those tag team Pokemon with the Calyrex Shadow Riders. So I think that in this matchup, if you're Okada, you probably just want to go with the Shadow Riders, and of course, perhaps maybe that one Alcremie lineup so that you can get a nice big one-hit KO, right? But starting off with the Mewtwo, it looks like he might just have to kind of go that route. We see him discard the Gengar Mimikyu, and he's going to go ahead and quick ball away the switch there for another Shadow Rider Calyrex V. He is going first, so we'll see. He might have something in hand. Okay, so he does. He's got the Dedenne-GX, draw a fresh 6 cards. So now we've got 2 Shadow Rider Vs on board, one with the energy, and now we see the Fog Crystal come out of that fresh 6-card hand. And I got to assume, he might be grabbing the Alcremie. He could be grabbing potentially, a Trevenant and Dusknoir if he wanted to discard that and utilize it. But it looks like he's going to grab another Shadow Rider V. And I think that that's a totally valid strategy when you're playing this deck. It's just kind of pile on the energies and just start hitting home, with those max Geist attacks from Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX. Should just be enough. And Togekiss VMAX doesn't do a whole lot of damage. It's kind of more of a control style deck where we kind of chip away at our opponent. We can consistently grab all the cards we want through shady dealings. And of course the Max Glide attack, which can be so effective. Here, Haruto, it's interesting. He's got to discard the VMAX, the Inteleon, and the Lightning Energy. Not something you typically want to do realistically, but we do find the second Sobble. We have a Pokecom, and we do have Drizzile in hand. He does get the Togekiss V benched. He does attach the powerful colorless energy. Going to add, I believe, 20 damage to its attacks, which does add up. If you can get, a couple powerful colorless energies on this Togekiss, it ends up doing 160 damage, which is a kind of a sweet spot in this format. You're going to be able to 2-hit KO some of those Shadow Rider VMAXs. We do see in the list there that we do have an Evil Admonition Hoopa. That's also going to be a really valuable option there as a single prize attacker against Shadow Rider here. Can do some decent damage, right, as a single prize Pokemon for just 1 energy. He's going to burn this Calm this turn. And it looks like he's actually going to probably go for a second Togekiss V to put on his bench. He's going to look through his deck. We do see one path to the peak in there. We see Jessie James, a couple reset stamps, and like I said, that Tapu Koko Prism Star. So a lot of great things that we can do with this list. He does have the Marnie and the Research in hand, so he's just going to end his turn, with 2 Togekiss, 2 Sobbles down there. Not much else he can really do on his first turn going second. Of course, being kind of a VMAX-centric deck, you would like to go first, but unfortunately in this game he is going to go second, and will most likely get the second attack off. But we'll see what we'll see what Okada here is able to pull out. He's got a nice board state. I mean, this Mewtwo in the active spot, kind of an outlier, a little bit awkward, if you're, if we're 100% honest here. But 3 Shadow Rider Vs on board, absolutely a great start. If we can see some VMAXs come out, if we can see some energy acceleration come out in 2 or 3 turns, maybe even 4 turns, whatever it might be, we're definitely going to have at least enough energy on board to really put a lot of pressure on Haruto's Togekiss VMAXs, which, realistically, it's not out of reach that Okada is able, will be able to get some big one-hit KOs late in the game if he gets enough of those energies on board. We have not seen the Alcremie yet, and I think that since we do have a Mewtwo here on board, and now we already have a Dedenne-GX on top of the 3 Shadow Riders, we might not really get to see Alcremie. We might want to leave that bench space open, perhaps for a Mars Shadow, so Path to the Peak doesn't get locked in. But we see 1 VMAX come out, he attaches 1 to it, and then he's actually going to Underworld Door to a Shadow Rider V, which is an interesting play. Does go ahead and Marnie there before he did that. So Haru, he's got Evo Incense, which is good, right? He's going to be able to grab a Drizzile, grab any trainer card, most likely a draw supporter. Okada actually passes his turn, so kind of playing the slow game here. I mean, he probably doesn't feel too much pressure, but you definitely kind of want to put on that pressure, I guess. If you're Okada playing Shadow Rider, you definitely want to kind of keep up the pace, get some big damage off, and just kind of swing away. I think the matchup for him should be pretty straightforward, whereas Haruto, he's going to have to be a little bit more precise in his plays. So I think that we definitely have to grab Evolution Incense here, or use Evolution Incense here, or to grab the Drizzile, and now we're going to be able to grab any kind of trainer card that we want. We have an Air Blue to get out of the active spot with the Mew, which is nice. We do have a Capture Energy if we did want to go ahead and find another basic Pokemon to put on our bench, but I don't know if bench locking ourselves this early in the game is going to be that beneficial. We might actually elect to attach that Capture Energy and not bench a Pokemon, but the research here I do like. For sure, because we can get rid of that lightning energy, which is going to help us utilize Tapu Koko Prism Star. What we could do is just grab that thing right now. All right, we could bench it, and then we could discard away the lightning energy, and that just gives us a +1 energy this turn. Could be pretty beneficial. Doesn't get the full effect, but maybe even just 1 energy guaranteed early on in the game right now might be pretty good. This Mew, though, in the active spot, it's really not going to be that useful. We might be able to Psy Power for some cheeky KOs there with the 3 damage counters, but it's definitely not going to be protecting anything on the bench. There's no, Pokemon on Okada's in his deck that's going to be hitting the bench, but here comes the research, so it looks like we're not going to grab the Koko. We're actually going to put down a 3rd Togekiss V, which is interesting. We are now bench locked. But we're going to start just evolving these VMAXs, and we are going to get a Max Glide attack off this turn, which is pretty cool. And we might be able to evolve that 2nd Drizzile. I think you definitely want to get the Inteleons out as early as possible. So I think that for this turn, it might be best to grab a Drizzile, to grab a Calm or an Evolution Incense, to grab the Inteleon, but he actually saves it, which is very interesting play. He's just going to go ahead and attack the Mewtwo for 140 there, and now he's going to be able to search his deck for 2 cards, any 2 cards in his deck. A very powerful attack, to be 100% honest with you. Makes the deck list that much more consistent. However, the damage output is definitely not going to be able to really contend with Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX. 2 very different strategies, 2 very different cards and VMAX Pokemon, but definitely awesome to see them together here in Grand Finals. I really can't wait. He's going to look through his deck, and it's similar to when you're playing like a Greens deck or like a Rosa deck. It's really difficult to know exactly what cards you should be grabbing every time you attack, every turn. It definitely increases the skill gap with a list like this. We see 1 Rapid Strike Inteleon and a Tapu Koko Prism Star. Very interesting play here, grabbing the Tapu Koko Prism Star. I suppose he kind of just wants it in hand. In case something gets knocked out, he's going to be able to set up a VMAX in 1 turn, most likely. And I think that's kind of his strategy here. But kind of putting some pressure on Okada here with 140 damage on that Mewtwo and Mew GX. That's a 3-prize Pokemon halfway to getting KO'd. So he's definitely going to want to get that thing out of the active spot. And we see the boss's orders, though, in Haruto's hand. So unless there's any hand disruption that comes out this turn, this Mewtwo is as good as gone next turn, which is actually a really great start for Haruto, realistically. And we'll see if that kind of ends up happening for him. A lot of things can go down. But I think that Okada here, he's just going to start evolving up the board state, right? He's just going to kind of progress. He's going to try to evolve some more VMAXs, or into some more VMAXs, get more energies on board. I think that 1 bench space is going to stay open for now. I think it definitely should. But I think that our strategy at this point is going to be just kind of piling on energies and starting to hit pretty hard, trying to just kind of outpace Togekiss in the long run. Here comes the training court, which is interesting, and there goes the Marshadow. So, at this point, you're kind of forcing Haruto to play his own stadium, and I know he actually has a power plant as well as a path to the peak in deck, but now that Marshadow's on board, that path to the peak for the rest of the game is going to be primarily pretty useless unless he's able to get a couple rapid strike, quick shooting Inteleons out to kind of whittle down that Marshadow. I guess that's kind of something we'll have to see if that kind of evolves as the game goes on. But here comes the second Shadow Rider VMAX. There goes the second Underworld door. He's going to get 2 energies on the second Shadow Rider. He's going to manually attach one to one of the Vs, that third V there that has yet to evolve. We do see the air balloon. Okay, so this Mewtwo, at least, we're going to force him, Haruto to boss next turn. And we're going to get a nice attack off here. This is doing 190 damage. That is more than enough to 2-hit KO the Togekiss VMAX. But it looks like at this point, we're going to be able to kind of boss up that Mewtwo and take the KO. But it definitely leaves us in a little bit of an awkward position. And when I say that, I kind of mean that... we still have to go through another VMAX, and I just don't know if we're going to be able to go through it as quickly as perhaps Okada will be able to go through our second Togekiss VMAX here if it were Haruto. But he could actually just attack the active, and that could be a really interesting play. Get some damage on 2 of these Pokemon. 3 prize Pokemon. No, but it looks like he is just going to boss it up. I think that for him, taking 3 prize cards early in the game is definitely going to be the most beneficial thing that he can do. He's not evolving that Sobble, and he didn't last turn, and I don't know really what the reasoning for him is to wait. I think that in a list like this, if you are playing Rapid Strike Inteleon, you probably just kind of want to get these out as quickly as possible so that we can start adding those +2 damage counters every turn. And really start whittling down some of these Pokemon. It looks like he's going to target the V, which is very interesting. Definitely very interesting indeed. We're going to go ahead and just take the KO on the Mewtwo in Mew GX. That's going to let us grab 2 cards from our deck. We're also going to draw 3 prize cards. So basically a +5 draw off of that KO, which is definitely really good. Grabs the Capture Energy, and I do kind of like that play as well. And he grabs the Cheryl. Now, the Cheryl play to me is actually going to be super interesting. So it looks like Haruto here, he might be planning on setting up a second Togekiss, right? VMAX. He's gonna attack once, and then he's going to Cheryl, discarding the energies, but he's going to be able to set it up again in 1 turn with the Tapu Koko Prism Star and another energy in hand. So definitely an interesting play. Hand Disruption here, a Marnie could be devastating, or a Reset Stamp this turn against Haruto, but I really like the strategy here. He has a 1 of Cheryl in the deck. It's such a interesting kind of inclusion into his list, but it could be really clutch. We'll see if it pays off for him. But at this point, we have 8 energies on board for Okada. So even if, I think Okada at this point, you gotta just KO the active, right? But I think what you want is enough energies on board so that after you KO the active Togekiss, that you can just kind of go ahead and take a KO on a fresh full HP Togekiss VMAX and kind of win the turn or win the game here in the next 2 turns. Definitely his strategy. But I think with limited energies in deck, we don't know if some are prized or whatnot. There goes 9 energies, so I think he only needs 10. Yeah, so 10 energies on board is going to do 310 damage, perfectly enough to KO a full HP Togekiss VMAX. And here comes the Marnie. So this Marnie is actually incredibly massive, going to make it that much harder for Haruto to kind of get the setup that he wanted. But we'll see what he draws into. He's going to draw 4 cards. We do see a Marnie, Powerful Energy, Scoop Up Net, and Research. Now, the Scoop Up Net is very interesting. So we're going to be able to, if he wanted to, he could scoop up the Inteleon and then reutilize that Drizzile to search our deck for another trainer card. Could be a play that he goes for. Again, might not be. He could also just Scoop Up Net the Mew to get it out of there. Although, I don't know if that really matters a whole lot. I don't know if you really need that bench space, but... Okada brings up the Calyrex V, and we're going to see a Hallowing Bind. So he's actually going to take the KO on a 2-prize Pokemon. In theory, I like this play just because next turn, you're kind of guaranteeing that you're not going to be taking, precious damage on one of your 3-prize Pokemon. But, realistically, I don't know if I like this play because this Shadow Rider V's got... Well, how much HP left? 190? Yeah, so 190. Inteleon ping, that powerful energy in hand. I mean, that's just going to be a KO. And yeah, that's only 2 prize cards for Haruto, but that's actually going to be -3 energies on board for Okada. So definitely an interesting play, no doubt. And we actually see the Hoopa in hand as well. So we could just go ahead and take a two prize KO with a 1 prize Pokemon. And that might actually be extremely beneficial because then with another powerful energy or the Inteleon ping on the Dedenne, we could boss that up for our last 2 prize cards. So, that's a very interesting situation. I think that this Hoopa, if we were if Haruto were to get a KO with the Hoopa here, and go down to 1 prize card, that would actually be a very advantageous position. We do have the Marnie that we could set up. I believe we have 4 Pokemon with abilities. So that is 90 damage on the Hoopa times 2 for weakness. That's 180 damage, more than enough to KO this Shadow Rider Calyrex V. Let's see if Haruto kind of goes with that route. He would perhaps have to waste a powerful energy on the Hoopa, which might not be the best thing, but we also have the Training Court, though. So we could Training Court, grab the Lightning Energy, and attach that to the Hoopa, and then save the powerful energy for another Togekiss VMAX. And I think that might be the play. We do see the Scoop Up play here, so he's got to go ahead and reuse that Drizzile that he got from the Scoop Up net. So, yeah, we're going to see that come out. Here comes one Shady Dealings. He's going to be able to search his deck for another Trainer card. And it looks like he might be grabbing the Quick Ball. Definitely an interesting play. I'm not sure exactly what he would be grabbing with the Quick Ball. He might be grabbing Dedenne to draw some extra cards. Could be grabbing Tapu Koko. A lot of different things that he could be doing here, most certainly. But we'll see. At this point, though, you don't really want to get rid of your hand because now you don't have an Inteleon. Not that Inteleon is entirely I don't know if you need it at this point. I think that once we take the KO on this V here, it's going to force Okada to resetting, hold that Marshadow, get it out of the board, and kind of force Haruto to go through that Dedenne to take his last few prize cards. But we do see the Tapu Koko Prism Star come from the Quick Ball. And it looks like he might be actually utilizing the Tapu Koko Prism Star now, which is actually a really good play because we can get +1 energy on that Hoopa, which I really like because that's all we need. And then we can actually attach that powerful energy to the bench Togekiss in hand. And then we can go ahead and Marnie or Research, which is going to be more than enough. Does he actually have 2 in his energies in his discard pile? Oh, he does. And that's kind of perfect. So not that it really matters. I think we still want to attach that powerful colorless energy to the Togekiss. So that brings us up to... he's attaches it to the other Togekiss V. And I don't know if I really agree with that play because I think if you had 2 colorless energies on a Togekiss VMAX, that's 160 damage, and that's going to actually threaten the boss's orders for game. Interesting that he kind of split the 2 energies there. Now both of these Togekiss Vs, if they were to evolve into VMAXs, would be doing 140 HP, which is going to require us to find another Inteleon to evolve, and we actually have it in hand. So we might not get punished for it. Who knows? The Path to the Peak in hand might also be useful. Again, with Marshadow, though, on the bench, it's definitely not going to be doing much of anything. So really, I think that if we're Haruto here, we do not want to see a Reset Stamp, and we do not want to see a Marnie next turn because we have everything in hand, I think, that we need to win the game. Yeah, actually, we do. So we can evolve into the Inteleon, then we can Drizzile, search for boss. We have Evolution Incense. So we actually just have everything that we need to win next turn if there is no hand disruption. But unfortunately, I doubt that that's going to be the case. We actually take boss off the prize cards, which is nice. So that's just one more piece that we need to this line of game-winning plays. But, yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think that the first thing you have to do, though, if you're Okada, is get rid of that Marshadow. It's just a liability. Being such a low HP Pokemon, our opponent only has 1 prize card remaining. Massive hand, though. So I'd be really surprised if we didn't see one of the Reset Stamps in Okada's list or Marnie. And we're going to Fog Crystal here. So we're going to be able to attach more energies with Underworld Door, draw more cards. We only have 14 cards in deck as well. So I think that, the game is definitely still Okada's to win. It just is, it's going to come down to, it's just going to come down to whether he kind of finds the pieces that he needs. And if the Marnie or the Reset Snip sticks on Haruto. It might not. There's a lot of things that are still in the air right now, a lot of things that might happen, but I think that the game plan right now for Okada is going to be the same. He's just going to go ahead and Underworld Door a couple times. He's going to go right back up to 8 energies. Unfortunately, we cannot hit 10 energies this turn, so we're not going to be able to win this turn, but we are going to be able to do a lot of damage, take a KO, and then kind of safely set up a play where we can just kind of boss for game next turn. So that's 9 energies, and again, just one away from being able to KO a VMAX this turn, although there isn't a VMAX, but you get what I'm saying. He's actually going to quick ball the other VMAX away. Probably doesn't have any reason to bench anything else unless it's perhaps Dedenne or something to dig. He's just going to attach some air balloons. At this point, he's just kind of burning through cards. He's just kind of thinning out his hand. Now we're going to see the Professor's Research. So we did not see Reset Stamp in hand. Now going down to only 2 cards in deck. I really am curious if he has that Reset Stamp in hand. He does run Ordinary Rod in his list as well, so maybe perhaps he's got that Rod in hand. Only 2 cards in deck, and there is the Reset Stamp. Going to stamp Haruto down to 1 card. Absolutely devastating. Let's see what this 1 card is, though. You never know. It's a Level Ball, actually. Wow. Which is really good, actually, for him. Going to be able to find a Drizzile for Shady Dealings, and then we could, of course, perhaps find some other useful cards off that. But I actually think that either way... Although, I don't know, because if Okada doesn't have another energy available to him in deck, then we can actually safely leave in a Togekiss. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can evolve a Togekiss VMAX and just kind of leave it in the active, because at this point, with 5 cards in hand, 2 cards in deck, although here comes the Ordinary Rod, so I'm going to bring some of those energies from the discard pile back into his deck, and that's going to be absolutely phenomenal for him. I was going to say, right, if he didn't have another energy, he would be able to live a hit, and perhaps that Haruto could kind of 2-hit KO for the win on a VMAX Shadow Rider, but unfortunately not exactly the plan here. I think that we still have to kind of go with the Boss's Orders play. I believe we still have a Dedenne-GX in deck, though, so that's going to be really the only way that we're going to be able to draw into Boss's Orders as well as the other pieces that we need. So let's see if Haruto does it. This game's coming right down to the wire. We see 2 Boss's Orders in deck. We see some of those energies. And do we see the Dedenne? Yeah, and we got the Dedenne-GX in deck. So this Level Ball has to grab a Drizzile here. I definitely don't want to misclick. That'd be not good. So yeah, we're going to grab the Drizzile, and I think that we have to grab a Quick Ball for the Dedenne. Then we're going to go ahead and Dedenne change, and that's going to be a +6 card draw. And then from there, we just got to find all the pieces that we need. I believe we need Inteleon, Boss's Orders, and a VMAX. It's a lot to ask for off of a Dedenne. But, I mean, it's definitely possible. It really is. We also have a Reset Stamp, so we could stamp Okada down to 2. But, yeah, he's going to grab the Quick Ball here. I'm definitely going to have to Quick Ball away the Energy Spinner. In fact, what he could do is play the Energy Spinner. But if there's no energy in deck, which he does know that there is at least one. Okay, so cool. So now we're thinning -1 energy out of our deck, which is definitely the correct play in the situation. You never know if that math is going to help, if those odds, even the slight increase of odds is going to benefit him. And here comes the +6 card. So we see the Evolution Incense, we see the Boss's Orders, and we actually, wow. Yeah, I mean, okay. So actually, I don't know if he... No, I don't think he has it, because he needs to find the VMAX, not as well as the Inteleon. So I don't know if he's going to be able to do it this turn. Wow. He is going to bring up the Togekiss, though, and now he's going to bring up... oh, no, the Speedwing's going to do it. I forgot. Yeah, the 3 energy on the Togekiss, the Speedwing. Dang. Haruto actually disconnects from the game, so he's going to go ahead and try to hop back in so that he can take this last attack, so that he can actually just win this game 1. Unfortunately, both players from Japan, PTCGO, you know how it is, absolutely devastating to disconnect right there at the very end, in that last moment that you need to take that last KO to win. And it looks like, oh no, the timer ran out. His turn ended before he was able to attack. And all he needed was to just hit with that Togekiss. He has game in hand. but wow. That is definitely not good. I wonder if Okada knows what's going on, or if he messaged him perhaps in the Limitless chat. We'll see. Okay, so yeah, he actually passes the turn, so I think he understands. I think he understands that Haruto had game. He had everything he needed. He gives the heart emoji. He's like, listen, you won that game fair and square. PTCGO sucks. I'm sorry you disconnected, but we're not going to let that change the result of the match. Anyway, Haruto with Togekiss VMAX actually takes game 1. An incredible grand finals set so far. I really can't wait. Let's get into game number 2. We'll get right into it, and yeah, don't go anywhere. All right, we are back with Game 2 of Grand Finals. We have Haruto Takatsuka versus Okada Ryuki. Apologize for the mispronunciations if there were any. Yeah, we got the Togekiss VMAX versus Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX. Haruto playing Togekiss actually took Game 1. An absolutely incredible match, went right down to the wire. PTCGO disconnection almost costed him that Game 1 of Grand Finals match. We're not going to talk about it, though. Incredible sportsmanship from Okada. Big shout out to him. One of the... perhaps the most wholesome things I've ever seen in a Pokemon tournament, especially, in a Grand Finals match. But it looks like Haruto's actually going to allow Okada to go. Oh, never mind. I forgot Haruto won. So Okada's actually just going to go first, again, because he knows that's probably the best, way to do it. So we're going to see him go first. He's got double Shadow Rider Vs on board already. Definitely a better starting Pokemon than the Mewtwo. This game could be a lot different, right? If we see that, if we get 3 Shadow Riders and an Alcremie, this matchup might be a whole lot easier for Okada. Last game, I think, just didn't really go too well for him, and Haruto played it near perfectly. So I think that if the chips fall a little bit differently here, Okada's going to have a much better matchup here. But Haruto actually has a pretty decent hand in his own right. He's got 2 Togekiss Vs here. He's got a couple Quick Balls, Evolution Incense, and Professor's Research. Now, we do not see the energy, and it's going to be extremely important to get 1 energy attachment off this turn. It's not the end of the world, because we still have Tapu Koko Prism Star, but you definitely want to get an energy attachment this turn. There comes the second Sobble. Here comes the Quick Ball away the Evolution Incense. And I think that at this point, we're probably going to grab a third Sobble, which is an interesting play, but I think it is actually the correct play. That'll leave 1 bench space open for perhaps a Dedenne-GX. And there comes the double Togekiss Vs. I don't think there's a reason to bench a third one here. Okay, so we find the energy, and we have a VMAX Evolution Incense. So we have a lot of stuff in hand, actually. The draws from Haruto this game have been absolutely pretty stellar. Okada only has 3 cards in hand, but his starting hand was pretty decent as well with the 3 Shadow Riders and the energy. That Air Balloon might come down on the Sobble. Again, you never know if you're going to get Marnied. You definitely want the option to get out of the active spot. So I think attaching to the Sobble there is going to be the smart decision. You don't have to switch out now. However, I think that I think it's better to stand with the Sobble than to go into a Togekiss V, I believe. You're definitely in jeopardy of getting KO'd for sure if you leave this thing in the active spot, but I think letting him take 1 prize card is better than getting that damage off on a Togekiss V. But here comes that Evolution Incense from Okada, and he's going to grab one of those sweet, sweet Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAXs. And this is exactly what he wants to do. He kind of just wants to start setting up. He's going to research away the 2 other cards that are in his hand, and it seems to be another research and a switch, which is interesting. And here comes an Underworld Door. He's going to be able to attach 1 to that other Shadow Rider V. 2 energies now, and he gets the evolution into a second Shadow Rider VMAX. And here comes a second Underworld Door. Now we're just kind of doing Shadow Rider things. Drawing 4 extra cards off that research, now up to 8 cards in hand. You love to see it. It's exactly what Shadow Rider loves to do. Here comes a Fog Crystal, so we might be seeing another energy, but we could be grabbing, of course, the Alcremie. Nope, it's going to be the energy, and there comes the third VMAX. You love to see it. You absolutely love to see it if you're Okada here. The triple VMAX turn 2, and there comes the third Underworld Door. He might have another energy as well to attach manually, and that's going to be 5 energies on his board turn 2. And there comes the switch as well. So this Sobble is as good as gone. There comes the Marshadow as well. Very good to not get that Marshadow prize. That would definitely be pretty tough but we're going to slap that bad boy on the bench, and we're going to just take 1 KO on the active Sobble. I definitely think that Okada is in a good position here. He's got 3 Shadow Riders ready to just roll. He's got a big hand still. He's going to be able to just kind of next turn, right, we're going to be able to get +4 more energies, and that's going to be, I believe, 8 energies on board. Going to be absolutely phenomenal, especially, you know, if we do get the CRE VMAX set up in the next 2 turns. We could end this game with a quick GMAX Whisk, right, for 360 damage. You know what I mean? So I think that's definitely a good route if you're Okada. I don't know if that's the route he'll go. We'll see. But Haruto here, he's going to go ahead and grab a couple Drizziles with these Evolution Incense. He also has that Lightning Energy to attach to the active. If he wants to, I think it's a safe play to just attach while that energy is in hand. We could try and hope to find a second powerful energy to do the 160, but I think it's very likely that we're going to get an Inteleon set up before then, so shouldn't be that big of a deal. But I definitely think that we would like to find another Sobble to get on the board. I know he probably has 4 in the list, so if we could find another one, that would be very nice. But I think at this point, we have Evolution Incense for a second Drizzile. We can attach to the active, and we can end that hand with a Research, drawing 7 more cards. So both players' decks kind of performing very well this game. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see who comes out on top, considering that, you know, nobody is really drawing poorly right now in the matchup. So here comes the Drizzile. He's going to look through his deck again, make sure that he knows exactly what he has. We see 3 more powerful energies, 2 captures, a couple of the lightning energies, and he does have 2 of the Inteleon. So he's not going to be able to get 3 out anyway, so he might not just bench that other Sobble. Might not just, you know, it might not be super relevant to him. We could be grabbing the, well, there's a few things that we could grab here, I suppose. Level Ball might be his option here. It might be his choice. And it looks like he's just going to go ahead and do that. So I think at this point, we are going to grab the Sobble. We do have the extra Drizziles in the deck. So even though we're not going to be able to evolve into another Inteleon, we do have a 3rd Drizzile in list. And we also have Scoop Up Net as well, right? So we can do some cheeky plays if we really did want to utilize 3 quick shootings in 1 turn. But there goes the energy attachment. And he's going to go ahead and research away that 1 energy. Get it in the discard pile. I really like that play. It's nice to have those lightning energies in the discard pile for Tapu, Koko, Prism Star. And here comes a Max Glide. You know, and I think that this matchup honestly could really go Haruto's way if like Okada just wasn't able to find Marnies or reset stamps throughout the game. But unfortunately, it seems like that's going to be a little bit, I guess, too much to ask for. Yeah, we're searching our deck for 2 cards here every time we max Glide. We got all these shady dealings coming out, so we're searching for trainer cards. But the thing is, there's so much Marnie, there's so much hand disruption, and with the reset stamps and the Marnies, that, you know, all these awesome cards that you'd love to have in your hand are most likely not going to stay there very long. And that is kind of the downside, I think, to this matchup, right? I mean, Okada's list has a lot of hand disruption. It's also very fast paced, has almost infinite damage potential. So kind of a tough matchup overall, I think, for Haruto in his Togekiss VMAX list. But we'll see. So off this Max Glide doing 140 damage, he's going to grab a Togekiss V, I believe, and a powerful energy. I think that's what we saw here off the grab. But at this point, we have another Drizzile in hand. We have another Inteleon. We have Boss. We've got another powerful energy. So we have a lot of things. Like, I really like Haruto's hand. I like his situation right now, but he's 1 Marnie and 1 4 dead card draw away from just kind of really being in a tough spot. And that's one thing that you kind of have to realize when you're playing Togekiss is that if Marnie and Reset Stamp didn't exist, the deck would be extremely powerful because it would perhaps be the most consistent deck in the whole game. But unfortunately, those cards do exist, and we're going to see one right now. And like I said, there it is, the Marnies. You know, and Okada's going to be able to throw, I think, 3 or 4 of those bad boys out this game on top of the reset stamp. So going to make things very difficult for Haruto. Or Haruto. You know, again, I'm probably mispronouncing names, and I do apologize. If the Japanese players are watching this, I don't know if the Japanese players base watches my channel, but if they do, I apologize for mispronouncing your name. But thank you for playing. So here comes some Underworld Doors, and like I said, you know, we have the potential to get 4 more energies on board this turn for Okada, and that is, that's going to be great. You know, that's going to be very good for him. It's exactly what we want. Again, I would like to see an CRE come down. I would really like to get one of those things set up, right? Because that just puts on so much pressure. Having a one-hit, you know, KO on a VMAX potential is a really big threat. It's interesting that we haven't seen that kind of come out yet for Okada, but you never know. Perhaps he's prized them both games. We have no idea. It's a little bit hard to kind of determine that. Capture energy in hand, reset stamp, boss, and research. Interesting situation off the Marnie, but I think that things could be very doable. The problem is that reset stamp could be really useful late in the game, so you kind of don't want to research it away. You don't want to discard it, but you might have to because we want to draw into a few things here, right? We want to draw into some energies. We want to draw into some Inteleons. That boss's orders would have been really nice, but it all kind of comes down to what we can afford to do. We do see the reset stamp come out, though. He's going to just drop into 5 cards. To me, that tells me that, he's probably just planning on pitching the hand with Professor's Research this turn, or else he definitely probably wouldn't have played that reset stamp, though. He's going to attach the capture to the Togekiss. He's going to grab that Tapu Koko Prism Star, and I do like this play, even though, he could pop it this turn. I don't know if he... the Hoopa, though, is really interesting to me. Because I think a big component of why Haruto won last game was able to kind of do that 180 damage with the Hoopa. And I think that was extremely important. He's actually going to boss here, which is a little bit crazy to me, but I like this play, though. I think getting a 3-prize Pokemon that much closer to a KO next turn is perhaps the most important thing that we can do, because now through Max Glide, we can search our deck for that Inteleon and the Pokemon Communication. So pretty much everything that we need to finish off this Shadow Rider next turn and also get an attack off, right, in that order as well, would be extremely powerful and would put Haruto in a pretty good position. So I actually like that play that he did that turn. I actually really like everything that we saw from him there, and I think that this was perhaps the smartest play that he could have done. We have 8 energies on board, though, right now for Okada. So I think right now, if we were to get that 10 energy mark this turn, right, if we were to get 10 energies on board and we did have a boss's orders and we brought up that healthy full HP Togekiss VMAX, the game is as good as gone. Because I think if we can go ahead and just take a 3-prize KO on a full HP Togekiss while we have the energies on board, there's literally nothing I think that Haruto can do, unfortunately. So let's see. Let's see if Okada has what he needs to do that this turn. I definitely think that's the play he's going for. That's the play that I would be going for here. But I don't know if that is actually the best play, to be honest. But we'll see. We'll see what he kind of decides to do. No, I'm definitely very interested to see. We got 9 energies on board right now. He might not have the other energy. He might not. I don't know. We'll have to see. But if he has a boss, the thing is, you can't play boss and then research. So if he has boss in hand but he doesn't have energy, that could be awkward. And if he has energy and he doesn't have boss, that could also be pretty awkward for him. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so Quick Ball comes out. Not sure what he might be grabbing here with the Quick Ball. We could see the Alcremie. We see another Shadow Rider. Might just be thinning the deck at this point. We'll have to see. I think he might have energy in the discard pile as well, so Training Court could be pretty big. He's actually going to bench that Shadow Rider V, which is an interesting play. And there comes the Fog Crystal. So we are going to get that 10th energy. The question here is, do we find boss's orders? We're going to be drawing +2 cards. Or, in fact, never mind. He just has it in hand here. Yeah, so I think that's going to wrap up game 2, especially with the stamp to... Wait, the stamp to 6? What's going on? Why? I mean, I don't know. Kind of an interesting play here, stamping him to 6 cards. I guess because, he knows that he did just grab 2 cards that he needed out of his deck, so maybe that was the correct play in general. I don't know, but either way, I think that fresh Togekiss kind of VMAX getting KO'd there really is kind of sealing the deal. Now you're kind of forced to attack with this Togekiss VMAX, but it only has 90 HP left, so you're just not in a good spot. I think the writing's on the wall here for Haruto. He might just go ahead and play it out because it is Grand Finals, and you never know. You got first place on the line, so it wouldn't surprise me if he does play it out here. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be a very difficult situation for him at this point. So a quick shooting can come out, and it looks like we're going to try to KO this active Shadow Rider with the quick shootings. And then at that point, okay, so the game actually isn't that over though, because we can actually just go ahead and KO the V with Hoopa here. He's actually going to bring up the VMAX, which I think is actually the better play. Actually, this game is still super winnable for Haruto. If we don't see a second boss's orders this turn, like if we don't see another boss, then I think that Haruto kind of has things almost a little bit in his favor. You know what I mean? Because we can quick shooting that benched Calyrex, draw 3 cards, and then all we need, I think, is probably another boss's orders to finish off this game by bringing up this Shadow Rider in the active spot. So I think Haruto has a pretty good chance of winning the game next turn if Okada doesn't actually do it this turn. And it's so interesting to me to see just how important this one Hoopa can really be. It's so clutch in this matchup. Here comes the Dedenne, 16 cards in deck, so Okada's really going to just dig through his list. He's going to do his best to find that last boss's orders that he knows he needs to win the game. And I think it's pretty likely, to be 100% honest with you, for that to happen. You know, we're going to Underworld Door a few times, draw some cards off that. We have Dedenne to draw 6 more. I don't know how many boss's orders are left in deck. It might just be 1, might be 2. But either way, I think that he definitely has a good chance. And we still see energies coming out of the deck. At this point, I think we have, 12 energies on our board. Absolutely insane. 10 cards in deck. And we know we have Dedenne in hand to draw 6 more. So if he doesn't play boss's orders here, he's going to Dedenne, try to dig for it, try to find it. And there goes the retreat. So does that mean he doesn't have boss? We're going to see the manual retreat with the ordinary rod to bring those energies back into the deck. And I think that we definitely Dedenne here, though, right? The deck is now shuffled, though, which makes things a little bit more awkward in terms of the whole sequencing of everything. But here it goes. If we don't see the boss's orders here, I think that Haruto has a chance to win. If we do see it, unfortunately for Haruto, yeah, there it is. We're going to be moving to a Game 3. So Game 1 went to Haruto. Game 2 goes to Okada. Both extremely close games. Both players actually playing really phenomenally. And even though that was a 6-0 victory in terms of prize cards, it was a lot closer than you might think. But absolutely terrific. Let's go to a Game 3. I really can't wait. Hopefully you guys enjoy. So I'll see you guys in just a bit. All right, and we are back with game number 3. It's been a long video. We have another game to go, but hopefully you guys are enjoying the action. Again, this Grand Final set has been phenomenal. The last few Grand Finals has been super interesting, I'm not going to lie. My voice is a little bit shot from all the talking that I've been doing, but I love doing it. It's always a good time for me, so hopefully you guys enjoy it as well. But we're going to take a double mulligan here for Haruto, and he is going to be able to go first. So interesting, he is starting with Hoopa, which, you know, might not be the best starting option, especially if this thing gets KO'd early. You definitely want to have it late game. And it is one of those basic Pokemon with a 1 energy attack cost, so you can kind of just slap it down late game, set it up easily, and get the attack off. So starting with it, definitely not ideal. And we don't see any way to get a Togekiss V this turn, which is absolutely terrible, I think, for Haruto. Even though he has so many cards in hand, they're just not the cards that he needs. No energy and no Togekiss V, the 2 cards that he really, really wants to get off on his first turn. So unfortunately, not as good of a start for Haruto this game as it was the last couple games, but you never know. Let's see what Okada's starting hand is. If he gets a really good start here, this game could be go by a lot quicker than the last few, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see what he's got in store. That power plant is out, so no Dedenne this turn. That's for sure, but maybe that matters, maybe it doesn't. But the quick ball away the Mewtwo, he's like, power plant, all right, get Mewtwo out of here. Definitely not going to be using that at the moment. This quick ball probably going to be grabbing the Shadow Rider Calyrex Vs, just like we've seen the last 2 games. We still haven't seen Alcremie V or VMAX, and that is definitely a card that I think would be very good in the matchup, to be 100% honest with you, but perhaps Okada is just, maybe he thinks otherwise, who knows, but there goes the training court going to knock out the power plant. And here goes a research, discarding the Marnie. And he's going to draw a nice 7 cards. And here comes another quick ball. So if we get 3 Shadow Riders on board, I mean, this looks like, okay, so we say the Alcremie. Okay, I'm actually excited now. And he does bench that bad boy. A play that I personally really, really like. I think it's just going to be super beneficial for him. The Shadow Mist comes out, so no stadiums or special energies are going to be able to be played this turn, which is actually a really good attack. It's not doing any damage, but it's going to stop Haruto from being able to play any of those special energies, and unfortunately, he draws into 2 special energies, so he's not going to be able to utilize them this turn. Definitely unfortunate for him. That play was actually kind of massive, to be honest with you, because if Haruto isn't able to attach energies, he's really not able to kind of advance his board state just because that's kind of what his deck really relies on. So it looks like Okada kind of figuring a lot of things out here as time goes on. As the more that he plays this matchup, I know that most people aren't playing Togekiss, so probably not a matchup that I guess Okada is very familiar with. But it seems to be kind of slowly coming to him, and I think as time goes on, he realizes just how advantageous the matchup might be for him. So unfortunately, we're just going to see another pass with a Haruto with no energy on board. We do get one Togekiss down, but unfortunately, it's just not going to be really what he wants, right? After 2 turns, if this is your board state, you're definitely not at a good spot if you're Haruto. But we'll see. We'll see kind of what comes of it here. Hopefully, it isn't a landslide game 3. That wouldn't be great for him. We'll see. We're actually going to see the Trevenant and Dusknoir come down, and we're going to see the Underworld door to it. There comes the second Shadow Rider VMAX. So it looks like Okada might be going for the Night Watch this turn. Only 4 cards in Haruto's hand. He knows that most of that was stuff he probably couldn't even play last turn since he didn't do much last turn. So if he... Oh, there's the third energy. If he grabs this research with the Night Watch, I think this game is going to be as good as done. We'll see. Definitely a high-risk play. I don't know if it's worth it. Here comes the Night Watch. What does he grab from the hand? He grabs the Koko and the powerful colorless energy. So, there's a quick disconnect. Okay. Hopefully Haruto is able to get back into the game. A little bit stressful, not going to lie. PTCGO woes. Not much you can really do, I think, at this point. Big shout out to Haruto for of course screen sharing his game and letting us in on the action at the cost of his own bandwidth and internet connectivity. But we'll see. So I think that Sobble got knocked out. Okada took a prize card, but Haruto does have the research in hand, which is good, and that's going to be pretty beneficial, I think. So he's going to bring up the Hoopa because it's got Air Balloon. That's a nice little free pivot there. So now we can attach that capture energy pretty freely without the Shadow Mist. And fortunately, he has the research in hand. Very fortunate, very lucky for Haruto there. Definitely a risky play for Okada, but maybe he just kind of isn't threatened by Haruto's board state and kind of thinks that having this Trevenant Dusknoir on board isn't going to be that big of a liability. You never know. Maybe it will be. Maybe it won't be. 270 HP is definitely less than 320. So the 2-hit KOs are a lot more doable on the Trevenant and Dusknoir, especially with the quick shooting Inteleons. That's kind of a little bit of an easier 3 prize cards for Haruto than a Shadow Rider VMAX would be. But, I think that 1 prize card here early. We've got the El Creamy kind of threatening Haruto here for the mid to late game as it comes. So I honestly... I don't think that the play was that bad. It was just a little bit greedy, I think. Just a tad greedy, but if it paid off, if it worked out, would have been kind of insane. And I don't know what the top deck was actually anyway, but we'll see. So here comes a quick ball. We're going to get rid of the Cheryl, so no cheeky Cheryl plays this game. We might be grabbing that Tapu Koko Prism Star. So I think Haruto at this point really needs and really wants to get the Max Glide attack off this turn, all in one turn. Actually, he attached to the Hoopa, so, that's just not going to happen. He's going to be able to do, 100 or 140 damage, I think, on this Trevenant Dusknoir, which would be pretty good, but doesn't really feel great, if that makes sense. It's just definitely not where you want to be at this point in the game. We're going to discard the Path to the Peak because he has to Dedenne this turn. We do see the Togekiss, the VMAX, which is cool, but no Lightning Energy in the discard pile. But here comes the Drizzile, so we might be grabbing... What are we going to grab here off the Drizzile? That's definitely kind of an interesting question, right? We have Erika's in hand. We have Inteleon in hand as well. Another powerful energy. Couple Togekiss. The Scoop Up net could be very interesting, though. Could be very, very interesting. And... that Scoop Up net does work on the Tapu Koko Prism Star as well, but I don't know if that's ever a play you would make. It's just something I wanted to point out. So he's going to grab the Reset Stamp. We might just be stamping to 5 here, which is definitely an interesting play for sure. This Trevenant Dusknoir is not going to get KO'd this turn, though, so he can just kind of Night Watch again. And do, get the KO on the Hoopa, take 2 cards out of Haruto's hand. That could be pretty big as well. I mean, this hand isn't very progressive, so that one supporter, if it were to get pulled out of hand by Night Watch, that's just something that, could be really bad for Haruto. But I don't know if Okada's actually going to stay in with the Trevenant Dusknoir. It might be kind of risky, I think, at this point. 170 HP left on this bad boy, so... I think you could feel kind of safe staying in, to be honest. We're just going to do Shadow Rider things here in Underworld Door a bunch of times and absolutely set up. We could also see the Adornment this turn, which would be a very interesting play, if I'm being honest with you. I don't know if that would be a bad play. I don't know if that would be a terrific play. I don't know. I mean, it definitely wouldn't be terrible, I think. We could get +3 energies on our board at the end of the turn and really kind of put a lot of pressure on for the next couple turns here. Here comes the Air Balloon, and here comes the Pokécom. So I don't know what he's grabbing with this. Could be the CRE VMAX. Could be a Shadow Rider V. You never know. He does have the bench space open. That Path to the Peak, though, in the discard pile, so we don't need to put Marshadow on the bench, and we are going to grab the CRE VMAX. And this is a play that I actually really like, and we're going to bring up something with Boss's Orders here, and it's going to be the Dedenne. I think this is an interesting play. We're not doing enough to KO. Oh no, we are. We're doing 160 damage like on the dot. So we are going to be able to KO, which is interesting. We attach the energy to the Alcremie. So now we're just going to be doing 190. So there's a quick 2 prize cards. Only 3 prize cards remaining here. For Okada. I think he's in a terrific spot. He's got the Alcremie right now, kind of threatening the one-hit KO on a VMAX if it were to evolve here. And I think that if you're Haruto, you're forced to evolve into the Togekiss VMAX. You kind of have to. You know what I mean? You don't really have any other options. But it's definitely a scary play. It's scary because then you're just kind of one Boss's Orders and 1 energy away from losing this game. So I definitely do think that Okada has the advantage in this game. I think that this is definitely a better position than he's been in the last couple games. But we've seen Haruto kind of make it out of some tricky situations in Game 1 and Game 2. So you never know. You never really know. Here comes the Erika's Hospitality. He's going to go ahead and draw 4 cards there. And we see the boss. Now we got double Togekiss on board. I don't think we even have a way, though, to attack with the Togekiss VMAX this game, so we might just be attacking with Hoopa yet again. We could get some damage off onto the Shadow Rider here in the active. I just don't know if that's really a winning play, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah, it's interesting. It's a tough one, for sure. I mean, we have boss next turn, so if this Hoopa does live... I mean, it's not, but a Togekiss VMAX could KO the Trevnoir. So actually, not a terrible play here since this Hoopa's still alive. We're gonna get some damage off. And if we do not have a Boss's Orders from if we don't have a Boss's Orders from Okada this turn, then Haruto technically still has a chance because. If Okada were to KO the Hoopa, we can go into a VMAX next turn. We can boss up the Trevnoir. We can kind of KO that, get 2 energies off board, take 3 prize cards, and then we would kind of be forcing Okada to get the 3 energy attachment off the following turn and have Boss's Orders. You know what I mean? So we'll see. So yeah, he is just going to actually attack the active. Doesn't actually do anything that turn, which tells me his hand was actually kind of dead. So this is very interesting. Haruto somehow finding a way to squeak back in just every time. So we're going to be able to get double Togekiss VMAXs out here. We can grab Drizzile here with Shady Dealings. And what we can do is bring up that Trevenant Dusknoir and take a nice KO on it, taking 3 prize cards and getting 2 of those Psychic Energies off Okada's board, forcing Okada to attach 3 more. That's 6 total. Or I guess he just needs 2 more, so 6 total. And Boss's Orders if he wants to win the game next turn. Actually, he doesn't need Boss. He just needs the 2 energies. So we'll see if he has it. We'll see. But definitely, I think we definitely want to boss up this Trevnoir here. Absolutely. Gonna want to do that. We could have taken the KO with a V, but that's not the correct play because Okada only has 2 prize cards remaining. He actually brings up the Alcremie here. which is a super risky play, but I think it's a play you might have to take. Because now we set up the 2-hit KO on this Togekiss, and at this point, we're really just forcing Okada to not find the energy. If Okada has the energy next turn, that's game. If he doesn't, then this game goes right back into the hands of Haruto. So I think the game will be won or lost right here on this turn. Let's see. Does Okada have the energy? He might have top deck it. He's got Training Court in play, so I don't think he's got any energy in the discard pile. And he doesn't, so we actually just see the adornment, but this might be also enough, you know what I mean? Like, this might just be the same kind of deal, where we're getting +4 energies on board. We already have 5, so the next turn we just need 1 energy, so we're kind of in the same spot. We're just buying ourselves another turn. Man, yeah, it is interesting. Yeah, and it's it's kind of like a checkmate situation, because we can bring up the Trevnoir since it does have 3 energies onto it, and we can KO that, but then he still just needs that 1 energy for the Alcremie in the active spot, right? So no matter which way you slice it, whether you KO the Trevnoir on the bench or the Alcremie in the active spot, Okada just needs 1 energy to win the game next turn. That's all it is. That's all he needs. And I think that the Adornment was an interesting play, but I think that since he didn't have the energy, that might have been his best option, to be 100% honest with you. We're going to quick shooting that Trevnoir, and we could stamp him to 2, but we know he doesn't have energies in hand. I don't know if stamp to 2 is the best play, and in fact, Training Court is in play, so if we were to get a KO this turn, we're going to guarantee that he's able to get an energy on his board next turn. So I think this might be checkmate. I think it might be, unless we have a Stadium in play or in our deck that we could grab with a Drizzile here. He's going to look through the deck. I didn't get to see it. Does he have the Stadium in there? If he doesn't have the Stadium, I think that's checkmate. We're going to grab the quick shooting Inteleon. So I think right now we're just going to go ahead and I think we stamp to 2. Maybe we Drizzile. If we have a Stadium, we play it. But it looks like he doesn't have the Stadium, so we're just going to go ahead and see the Max Glide come out. And unfortunately, that is going to be checkmate. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure. Definitely interesting, for sure. But yeah, it doesn't actually even take the KO anyway. So that's just going to be checkmate. And that's going to be Game 3 of Chill Series 43 Grand Finals. Anyway, guys, big congrats to Okada Ryuki for winning. And massive congrats to Haruka as well, or Haruto, sorry, for making Grand Finals with Togekiss VMAX. An incredibly entertaining and interesting Grand Finals match. Super cool to see a deck like this make it to Finals. So definitely amazing. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Matty from Chill TCG. Don't forget to register for Chill Series tournaments every week. Every Wednesday, we start at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. It's been a great time, guys. I apologize for the video being so long, but sometimes it just happens like that. You guys have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll go check out the top 16 deck lists. There's quite a few interesting ones for sure. I'll see you guys soon. You guys have a great night. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, become a channel member. It's only $1.99 a month. Totally up to you. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and I'll see you guys next week for Chill Series number 44. You guys have a good one.